So obviously this is a subjective area. Even if you look at the direct statistics, Symmetra, of all people, has the highest win rate out of every single character, but Zarya is the highest tank, and that's in competitive, not quick play. I'm sure the stats are different in the professional scene, but I'm not gonna make choices around the meta of the top 0.01% of players unless that's who I'm playing against, which I'm not. And you're not. It drives me fucking crazy when people say, oh, well, you should pick this character because they're the most picked in the top. You know what? I'm not gonna pick that because I'm not in the professional scene. Oh my god, it drives me crazy. Now, what makes a character the best? Well, that's easy. Let's take Russian accent.
I want to hug you like big, fuzzy Siberian bear.
Done. Video over. I'm kidding. But seriously, the best character is a character who gives you, the individual, the most options at any given time, the most roles to fill, the highest ability to assess your current situation and adjust your strategy accordingly. And Zarya is the Russian queen of filling roles. Look at all these things she does. That's a lot of things. Compare that to someone like Reaper. I mean, that's less things. Zarya, more, Reaper, less. Boom. Some people might say this is an oversimplification, but to those people I say, shh. Just let it happen. Just embrace those rippling Russian shoulders. So I'm gonna assume you know the basics of how Zarya works. In this video, I want to talk about the things that put her one bicep above every other hero, which is basically everything because she's kind of a jack of all trades. The only things she can't really do are flank and snipe, and let's be real here, no one fucking likes the people who do those things anyway. I mean, one single bubble can completely change the outcome of a team fight, because pressing E from 50 feet away is all it takes to prevent someone from instant death. No other tank can do that. When you toss down a well-placed bubble, you are instantly, single-handedly keeping the teams and the whole game stacked in your favor without even risking your own life to do it, like Reinhardt or Roadhog or anyone else. I mean, not even healers can bring people back from instant death outside of Mercy's one ultimate. Now, I know you're saying, alright, but those things have a cooldown of like a Brazilian seconds. It can really only be used once per fight. First of all, that's dumb, because it saves your teammates like 40 seconds of dying, respawning, and running back into position. That's huge. Totally worth it. Secondly, a good Zarya knows that her shift bubble is just as good at saving other people's lives as her own. Literally just pop it and walk in front of them. So it's basically the same ability with half the cooldown. You just need to trade off who you use it on. Thanks to her large health pool, she's also pretty forgiving if you make a mistake, which everyone does from time to time, despite all the armchair seagulls that are douching up every video's comment section. Get hooked by that Roadhog? No problem, just stroll on out of there. Frozen by May? Bitch, you're gonna need a lot more headshots than that to do the job. And to top it all off, you can just regenerate your own health after you get into cover, which is almost a necessity for solo queuing unless you happen to get into one of the 5 games where you actually have a good healer. And then there's her ult, which usually wipes half the enemy team. Although it does have a pretty long cooldown, so that's fairly balanced. But her weapon is also a beam, which means that she can keep pressure on that reflecting Genji and that matrixing Diva while your teammates drop their entire clips into them thinking, well, I mean, they're hoping. Actually, I have no idea what's going through their fucking heads when they're doing that. And they just do shit like this. Like, seriously? I didn't fire a single shot there and died to a reflecting Genji. Fucking embarrassing. And unless you have a Mei, then you're likely the only person on your team who's keeping pressure on those Genjis and those Divas. So to recap, she's got enough health to survive almost any insta-kill. She's got bubbles to save your teammates from insta-kills. She's got a beam weapon that does decent damage and ignores defensive abilities. She can siege from a distance to build ult and regenerate health for sustained pushes when the healer is off, I don't know, getting herself killed. All in all, Zarya is good because she's kinda good at everything. She's kinda good at dealing damage, kinda good at taking damage, kinda good at breaking defenses, and she's kinda good at wiping the entire enemy team. I say kinda because her ult is actually pretty easy to counter. You need to sort of think about it ahead of time and work with your teammates. Anyways, the one thing that puts her over the edge is that she's very good at saving lives during those critical moments when a teammate is about to die. Sometimes it just saves a life, but other times it enables your teammate to destroy the enemy team. That's what sets her above every other character. A single competent Zarya can have a massive impact on the outcome of a game, and that's what makes her the best character in Overwatch. She empowers her teammates, and that probably says something heartwarming about teamwork, but I'm not clever enough to make it poetic or whatever. The point is, while other characters get kills, Zarya gets wins.
I am not a good loser.
And that's why Zarya is the best character in Overwatch. Let's do a pop quiz. Who do you think this hook is going to hit? I mean, it should be no one because it's already intersecting the fucking wall, but of course, that's not the case. Could it be the Roadhog hiding in that corner? Or maybe the D.Va who's visible but should be safely nestled behind the wall? Or maybe it's the fucking Junkrat who's running behind two of the largest hitbox tanks in the game? Time's up! Who'd you guess? Did you guess the McCree?